If it weren't for Crossroads Mason having been formed, I don't really know where I would be right now. I had a little bit of exposure to a couple different church communities by way of family, but it was never something that I had really adopted. You could argue that I was an atheist, although I held on to the belief that maybe there was some other power at work in the universe.
We really want to engage people who don't know who Jesus is, who have given up on church, but not necessarily on God. And we want to help them understand that we speak with a different dialect. We speak in a language that is unique to Christendom and helps them to really figure out that who I thought Jesus was is really different than who he actually is. And it draws them into the things that we're doing around here that just impact so many different people.
After coming for the first few weeks, I began to volunteer. I actually joined a community group and really began to read the Bible and understand other people's experiences, and I wanted to be more involved in my community, and to me this was very much my community. That's what set in motion a lot of the things that led to where I'm at now. I like to say that it wasn't the fact that I sought God, it was almost like God saw an opportunity to expose me to him, and I realized what I was missing out on.
When we were really getting serious about multi-site, we went and just kind of pulled some data to see the people who call Crossroads home, who are attending today, where do they live? And just looking at, kind of placing those people over a map of the city, the greater Cincinnati area, we discovered that people come to Oakley or Mason sites, our current locations, as far south, past Union, Kentucky, on north, close to Dayton. That might be great for a couple who's coming on their own, but when they live so far away from any location that we have, it lessens the likelihood that their friends who are their neighbors, live next to them in their general neighborhood, are going to want to make that drive, that substantial drive, to come to Mason or to Oakley.
That's a lot for a family with 2 kids to make that kind of drive and commitment. And even though I would make that commitment now, before I really wouldn't have had any reason in my own mind that I should.
The thing that we're about most is helping our friends who don't know Jesus come into relationship with him. And so ideally what we want to look at is finding locations, planting them throughout the city that are 15-minute drive times for where we already have an existing pocket of people who are familiar with who Crossroads is. The great thing about multi-site is that it engages a greater number of people into this mission that we believe that we're called to, and invites them to participate in something that is much bigger than themselves. If I'm bringing my friend here and there's not a seat for them, then they're not going to feel welcome, they're not going to feel received. And so we want to create more seats, more opportunity for those of us who call Crossroads home to bring their friends, invite their friends into the movement that's happening here. And when you do that, when you connect the vision and something that is bigger than yourself, that opportunity to really get engaged with that, it changes your life. It totally changes your life. And where there is no purpose, there becomes purpose. Where there is no community, where there's isolation, you are swept up in the movement to change the trajectory of someone's life, yours included.